Hello everyone, my name is Eric, and today I want to dispel one of the biggest lies that might be out in the cigar industry when you're first learning about tobaccos, blends, companies. One of the most common things that is thrown around, and I wouldn't say necessarily is the most true. I think it deserves a little bit of clarification. You are watching Oakland Tobacconist. If you're interested in any of the blends I'm talking about today, or many other boutique amazing cigars throughout the industry, make certain you join the OGT Cigar community online social media. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, make certain you give us a follow, check us out, we'd love to have you part of the community. Please don't forget to like, to comment, subscribe, and to hit the bell so that you're alerted every time we produce new content. Today I want to talk to you, as I had mentioned before, one of the biggest lies, or perhaps statements that's not necessarily true and needs a lot of clarification, but never does. When I first started getting into cigars and kind of learning blends, I wanted to learn as much as I could, and I tried to pick up as much information as I could from varying sources. And what helps sometimes is when you have a well-regarded source here and a well-regarded source here, you kind of cross-reference those two, see where it kind of shakes out. But then you will also get some crazy statements out there, sometimes from multiple sources, that I wouldn't necessarily say is true. And that is, how much flavor does the wrapper leaf make up of a cigar? Now, I'm sure many of us have heard this before. There are many different theories on this before. I definitely think that it's better to talk to the people making the cigars for clarification. But one of the most common statements is something like this. The wrapper leaf on a cigar makes up 70 to 80% of the flavor on the cigar you're enjoying. I would always voice that I do believe that's the case. But as time has continued on, as experience has continued on, I would not necessarily say that's true. Now, does that mean that there is no flavor from the wrapper leaf? Absolutely not. There is so much flavor. And maybe what you're perceiving is a lot from the wrapper leaf, because you got to remember, when you light up a cigar, you give it a cut, you light it up, that is immediately what your palate is contacting, and that is the wrapper leaf itself. However, that doesn't mean the highest percentage of flavor is that wrapper leaf. No, I would say it seems most commonly that a lot of people use the wrapper leaf to sort of guide where the blend should be. In other words, a lot of people have attempted to make a stronger, heavier Connecticut shade cigar. Now, while some of them have succeeded, it's not the most common because you don't want your filler leaves to be at war with your wrapper leaf. And so since the wrapper leaf is more mild, more mellow, you're not gonna throw that chock full of Ligero and nothing else, because you're not even gonna get some of the qualities you get from that Connecticut wrapped cigar. At the same time, we here in America, the American market, we are accustomed to thinking darker cigar equals stronger cigar. That's not always the case. But many times blenders cater to that because that's what the public is expecting. I know that's what I expect many times when I look at a cigar brand. When I think of Maduro, I sometimes hope for that stronger experience. But Maduro means ripe. It doesn't mean strong. It doesn't mean heavy. But when you're blending, a lot of times with Connecticut broadleaf, because it has a lot of nuance to it, a lot of different complex flavors to it, the filler leaf can bring out some of that as well. The reason I say the wrapper leaf sort of guides the flavor profile is you can take something like a brushfoot, which this is our OGT Cigar of the Year Midnight Ride. This is a fantastic cigar. I can't smoke enough of them, can't get enough of them. But it is a brushfoot, so the first half inch is nothing but binder and filler. A good way to put this to the test is you light this cigar up, and you start smoking and enjoying that cigar. You get its notes, its flavor profile, its strength profile, and then you will notice a change, a difference as it transitions into wrapper leaf. That does not mean there was no flavor going on in the filler. There was quite a bit of flavor, but it definitely changes somewhat and goes a different direction when you have this Nicaraguan broadleaf basically introduced to the mix. And so while the percentage of flavor is not being made up of the wrapper, a lot of the blending style and the blending profile is catered to that tobacco. So with the Nicaraguan broadleaf, you want fillers to make certain that they complement and they add complexity, nuance to the notes and flavor notes of that wrapper leaf. At the same time, the strength as well. If you have your Ligero leaves inside to kind of bolster that strength and that body of smoke, the smoke texture. All of these things are working in conjunction with one another. But a lot of times out there, you'll get that statement, well, 60%, 70%, 80% of the flavor of the cigar is simply just the wrapper leaf. And I would definitely say it needs clarification. I wouldn't say it's a percentage, but a good portion of what you're tasting is being guided by that wrapper leaf. And I think that's why a lot of us, when we look at something like Connecticut Broadleaf or something like San Andreas Maduro, all these things mean certain things because you come to expect certain blends from that. And some of those wrapper leaves, they have an inherent flavor that they add to the mix. Drop down in the comments, what is one of your favorite wrapper leaves to enjoy? And do you normally prefer a stronger bolster blend behind that or something more mild? As always, thank you for watching, and check out our social media as well as our Instagram. We will see you next time on Oak Glen Tobacconist.